Hello and welcome. My name's Campbell. This is Spiral Up. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And today we have Anne back with us, Anne Ishikawa. So I made a video a few weeks ago about the voices in your head and how to deal with them. And although it does work, it may not be the best way to actually deal with these entities or attachments. So we're going to talk to Anne about the best way to deal with these, what we call attachments, because basically we've all got these energies that are attached to us and that are a negative influence. But of course, if we treat them negatively, then we're just sort of really compounding that energy, I guess. So yeah, welcome, Anne, and yeah, let's get into it. I guess first of all, do you want to just maybe go into what are these attachments? What are these things?
Oh, goodness. That is such a huge topic. Our realm, our existence is so multidimensional. So many things exist across time space. These entities generally are versions of you. We all have this innate security. We should have this innate security. And if we don't give away our sovereignty, our security is usually pretty good. So the only thing that can generally get into your energy field is something with your DNA. Right. So it's a version of you in some way, shape, or form. Now, it could be a version of you that is just in trauma, that's not necessarily a bad person or an evil or negative entity. It might be a version of you from, a so-called past life. I mean, all time is one, but it might be someone from you from, ancient Roman times or from Egypt that wasn't a soldier or wasn't really anyone important, but they had some trauma and they're not a bad person. So you just heal them, and they're quite an easy thing to heal. And then you've got the soldier versions of you that experienced a great trauma in battle, and usually battle sites are time looped. So you're experiencing, or this version of you is experiencing this trauma over and over and over again. And there's a lot of dark magic associated with that. And so healing that kind of trauma is very, very tricky. Can hit you like a bus. And then we've got versions of us that are actually artificial sentiences. So they're just carrying your soul shards that have been stolen from you, or another version of you. So many of us get our soul shards stolen. I actually had over 5% of my soul stolen. Yeah, which was quite a large amount. And this was actually my own dumbass fault. I was working with a psychic a couple of years ago, and he was using entities outside of himself, like people in crystals, fairies in crystals, and orgone pieces, and even Archangel Michael. And none of these beings turned out to be who they said they were. And he's only aware of a few of them, but not all of them. So I had a lot of my soul shards, by my consent, in my unawareness, taken. And these soul shards were taken, and the AI created bodies for itself. Because True Benevolent Source doesn't grant soul shards to AI, or a soul to AI. Yeah. So the AI has to steal soul shards to create itself. It wants to be physical.
Okay.
So a lot of these predators and bad guys, they're carrying our soul shards. And these can get into your energy field because they have your DNA.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the
So there's a whole host of things that can so-called attack us and that we need to heal.
Yeah.
And we do need to heal these things because they carry our DNA, and we need to get our soul shards back. We need to return to wholeness.
Yeah. And I guess that's, one of the big things. We've been splintered, right? We've been fractured. And this sort of theme of, it's all us, it's sort of coming out lately too, that, we're the ones that created, this simulation. We're the ones that are doing the bad stuff to ourselves, all the good stuff, whatever. It's all just versions of us, right?
Yeah, it's us. It's us against us. It's these bad versions of us that have been mind controlled. And that's why we're here. And that's why we have the power to undo it. Nothing outside of us. The aliens can't land and just undo it all because they don't have authority.
Yep. Yeah.
It's us. We're the ones that did it. We're the ones that have the authority to declare I am the current dominant sovereign self. And in this state of sovereignty, I undo this dark magic. I undo this programming of the matrix. I undo this whatever. And it's just it can be as simple as speaking out loud with conviction and intent.
Because I've been doing that lately.
Yeah, because the words we speak, they carry a resonance, right?
Yeah. When I hear
we program the matrix, everything is holographic, it's light, it's programmable, malleable, and it's programmed by our consciousness and the words we speak and our thoughts. It's kind of too easy in a way.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is why, we're taught that crazy people, talk out loud to themselves and all this kind of, and, even just, expressing yourself and all this kind of stuff. It's just all frowned upon, right? Don't go there, don't do that.
Oh, you should see me walking along the street in Tokyo. My God, because I don't wear a mask. I'm chatting away to myself, because sometimes if I'm dealing with a really heavy energy, I have to speak out loud. Because if I just do it in my mind, I can feel some entity trying to twist my words or stop me from thinking. So I have to actually speak out loud. So I'm walking along the street, talking to myself out loud. Yeah. Not a good look, but whatever, crazy lady.
Yeah, but the crazy people are more fun.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so too.
But another point you touched on is all this stuff. It's basically all, it's like a contract, right? It's all contract based. Like we have to accept it, even and of course it's it's like a fractal reality of where we are now, right? Everything we're in now is contract, and most of it is done underhandedly, right, by fraud. So we don't know that we're agreeing to a contract, which is the same as what's happening here. We're getting tricked, and we don't actually understand that we've accepted this contract. But like you say, all we need to do, just like we do here, is we can go to court and say, well, prove I signed that contract, and they can't. So it's the same thing, isn't it? We just go, well, I didn't sign that, so you can take your stuff and bugger off, buddy. Not in this, field.
Yeah, the legality, the legal energy is so complex. I have all these protocols. I have maybe 30 protocols dealing with different things. And some of them are, 30 pages long. They're legal documents. And because I'm not a lawyer and I have no experience with legal documents, I kind of repeat myself, and I say things in different ways 5 times over, just to make sure that my intent is very clear and written in words. And it's actually embedded in the internet. The internet is alive. So if I post something, if I post a revocation on Facebook or social media, that embeds it in the internet. And the internet is alive. And so it spreads out this energy. And even if people don't read it, it doesn't matter. The energy is there coursing through the internet. So it does make a difference, what you post. And you can entangle, what other people post. If you look at someone else's post, you can actually entangle in the energy of that. So you also you have to kind of have protocols for your social media.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I revoke all entanglements with this video, with all my social media interactions. It is always so in all moments. Just something simple, and have it written down somewhere, on your website or somewhere. I mean, it doesn't clear everything, but it will help.
protect you a bit, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, like when we share, stories, all these people who share the news and that, and what's, the narrative as consent, isn't it? Like,
it's not really consent if you look at it and you think, well, maybe, or, you don't buy it.
yeah.
But if you look at all the doom and gloom news stories and you actually buy into it and buy into the fear, well, you're contributing to that unity consciousness.
Yeah.
You're contributing to manifesting whatever that doom and gloom story is.
Yeah.
And that's how we program our reality, our environment, is through unity consciousness.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why the media is so powerful.
Exactly right. I mean, and that's why they're made up of a cast of people, and they all get together and they do a broadcast. Right?
Casting a spell.
Yeah, casting spells on us. That's all it is. And entertainment, entertained, mental. It's all there really when you look at it. So a few weeks ago, I was talking about voices in heads, and a lot of people, have these negative entities, the ones that tell you you're going to fail and don't try that. And oh my God, those people are talking about you and what will they think? And and I gave, a solution of how you can deal with them. But as we've been talking about, these attachments are most likely a part of us. And even if they're not, if we're treating them in a negative way, we're contributing to that negative energy, right? So it's not really what we want to do. I won't tell you what I said today. Not that I was killing them, but I was definitely really annoying them. They weren't happy with me. So
I got so triggered when I saw your video. I got completely triggered, and I heard these like almost these cries of pain and agony, and I'm like, oh my God, what has he done? I've got to email him. Oh my God, he has to be undone. I could feel them, I could hear them. It was awful.
I know, right? So they're good for me, but not for them. So yeah, I got an email from Anne saying, oh my God, I watched your video. We've got to make a video. We have to sort this out. So floor is yours, Anne. What should we be doing?
Well, let's just talk about what you did first, because a lot of people do things like this, and I myself did things like this before I became aware that, oh crap, they're versions of me. Yeah. So there's absolutely no judgment for anyone. I've been the dumbass. We've all been the dumbass. We're all on a journey together to wake up. And I don't think anyone hasn't been a dumbass.
Exactly.
So basically you heard these voices in your head, and what did you do?
So I got gaffer tape and I wrapped it around their mouth, and then I threw them in a 44-gallon bin and filled it with concrete, and put it in another bin, filled it with fiberglass resin, put it in another one and filled it with concrete. Then I kicked it into the sun.
And that stopped the voices in your head.
It did, yeah, for a while. Like they'd come back a bit timidly, and I'd be like, "Oh, yeah." I just do it again so it works as far as in, like, they don't like it, so they get timid and they're like, "Oh crap, I don't want to do that to us again." But for one, it doesn't fix the problem. Like ultimately, it doesn't. It just sort of squashes it a bit.
It's a temporary patch.
It's a temporary, exactly. It's a temporary, yeah. But again, it's not fun for the other entities. Even if they're, maybe not doing nice things to us. As we've been talking about, like everyone, right? Like all of us, they've been scammed. They've just been taught to believe the wrong things, and they're acting on it. And we've all done that, right? And people around us do it every day. So it's nothing new or weird. It's just we've got to learn a better way to deal with them.
Yeah, and I mean, we've all been dumbasses, but what we did is I tuned in and we undid, you revoked doing all that. And then we tuned in and I think we connected with a version of you.
Yes.
It was actual version of you, and we just spent a bit of time giving it love and healing.
Yep.
And then I think did it have a broken arm, or it had it?
That was another version of me that had its arm ripped off. Yeah, like the whole arm thing. And funnily enough, just as fate would have it, it was put in a thing of concrete.
Right. There you go. So yeah, too funny. But we can grab these versions of ourselves, and it feels like you're being attacked. It feels like you're being attacked when you get these telepathic incursions, and they can try and strangle you, which makes your throat feel very tight. You might start coughing. They might you might feel like you've got somebody's boot on your chest. They try and shut down your heart space. They might go for your lower back. You've got some dreaming body generators in the lower back. And of course, your dreaming body is another version of you that is multidimensional and can do a lot of work for you in dream time, and they try and sort of block that. So a psychic attack, or people think, oh, it's the cabal, or it's whoever, but in actual fact, it's just a version of us that has surfaced for some divine time reason. And it's this opportunity to grab it just with intent, grab it. And I set up a protocol for any being that enters my game. I just say, you are now trapped in a quantum quarantine bubble cage. And this cage, I program the cage, what it is. So in this cage, no weapons can be activated. In this cage, this being cannot do any harm to me. And in this cage, there are reflective mirrors that mirror unconditional love back onto the entity with its own energy. So as it expends all this anger and fear, all that is transmuted, it's its own energy, is transmuted and reflected back in on itself, unconditional love. And then one of the first things I do is I audit the Akashic records. So a lot of beings have redacted or false Akashic. So we don't know who the hell we are. They don't know who the hell they are. So I just say I now audit all true Akashics, all Akashic records, and I delete and revoke all false data so that we may know who we truly are. And then gradually you can feel like this ease off of the pressure. And basically you're waking this person up. So you can imagine like waking up one of your friends who's completely asleep and buying into the whole agenda of everything. You can imagine just sitting him down and telling him everything, and he believes it all, and he just implodes. He's like, oh my God, I've been asleep. Oh my God, So it's like waking someone up.
Yeah.
And so just a lot of breathing is good, sipping some lemon water. Exercise, physical movement is good because it activates your breath. So this is how we can transmute. And, in our hands, we have energy centers. So putting one of your hands on your heart space, which is the engine, your heart space is an engine, it's a capacitor. And if your heart space is kind of heaving and being shut down, it's not your heart space, it's the heart space of that version of you that's shut down, but you're feeling it. So just put your hand on your heart space to activate, to spark it, to give it a boost of energy. And just love, just unconditional love it, and talk to it and just say, look, you've been mind controlled and scripted. Everything was scripted. all of your actions of horror, it wasn't who you truly are. And therefore, there is only unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness. And that's it. And they'll be like, but I did this and I did that. And I'm like, no, stop. Everything was scripted. When you heal, you'll get a chance, I'll help you and we'll undo everything. But just for now, forgive yourself. We're going home. So have this conversation with this entity. And it's not really over until you kind of feel a physical release. It can be tears, a few tears coming out of your eye, or it can be full blown just crying. It can be a yawn. It can be a sneeze. Or it can just be this really feeling of uplifted, light energy, or you could just start laughing. I mean, everyone's different, but you should try to notice a physical, some physical telltale sign. And you can program your skin suit to say, okay, when this being is healed, I want a few tears. Or when this being is healed, I want the signal to be a yawn or a sneeze. You can kind of program what sign you want so that you know that it's healed. But one of the major problems is a lot of healers out there, and absolutely no judgment, a lot of healers out there are using Archangel Michael or an angel or an orgone device or a crystal, some entity linked to a crystal to assist in healing. And, we really have to discern who these entities are, because most of them are cloaked.
Yeah.
And they are mimics of benevolence.
Mm.
But it's very easy to just say, oh, and yes, I can see this traumatized being. Yes, it's a version of you. Or, oh, and we're just going to call in Archangel Michael, or my friend, Bob the fairy, and he's going to take it away and heal it. And thank you, Bob. And we're done. I'm sorry. That is not a healing at all. If we can't heal ourselves, what's the point? If we have to rely on something outside of ourselves, what's the point? And we have been in stagnation. The agenda was to stagnate us so that we do not evolve. That's the agenda. And how do you stagnate us? Get us to rely on things outside of ourselves to heal ourselves, so we never learn anything. I mean, if we just called in an angel to heal you, they probably would have, because then they would keep me from learning, this is a parasitic geometry abuse, and you can now undo it. As the current dominant, sovereign, benevolent self that you are, you can override this dark magician and undo all the magic.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a huge thing. This is a big chunk of dark magic that's been taken out. But if we had just passed this healing off to an angel or something, it would have been great. We could have continued talking, had a lovely chat, but we wouldn't have been able to take out this big thread. I'm seeing this big thread, entanglement thread of dark magic has been taken out of the realm.
Nice.
I mean, there's more to go, but I'll get to it.
We're getting there.
And I mean, anyone watching this video, if they think that they might have these entanglements as well, their inner self, their true self will be listening, and their true self will go, oh yeah, actually, this rings a bell, and they'll have a remembering and an undoing. So if anyone watches this video and then gets hit with a heavy heart or a sore arm or some kind of back pain or some physical bit of trauma, go for a jog, do some cooking, do something you love, process it, because you'll be a part of this undoing as well, you know, unity consciousness.
Nice. Nice. And yeah, just to touch again quickly on the like the archangels. I think sort of the message is, you know, just be careful who you're giving your power away to, because ultimately this is all about sovereignty, right? It's all about us being sovereign and being the dominant sovereign being. Is that what we're called?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, is this why we see NPCs everywhere? Is that because they're not the dominant of their lines and they're dominant somewhere else? Is that what, like, all these people that just walk around in a program are, that they haven't claimed sovereignty to be the you know, the dominant person, or just as a
yeah, they're really hard to read, these NPCs, that, you know, the non-play characters. They're really hard to read, and I'm just now learning to access the Akashic records. I've been studying this for just only about 2 weeks. So the better I get at this, it's kind of a process to read the Akashics. I mean, I guess some people can just do it naturally, but for me, I have to go through a bit of a learning process in order to access it. And I can't wait, because this is one of the things I'm going to definitely look into, is who are all these people?
What are they?
Who are they? I mean, I don't know. I keep intuiting that this 144, the number 144, 14400, 144,000. There's something about that linked to the number of souls in this realm, or, you know, I'm really not clear, but
human sovereign souls or something. Yeah, I agree.
There's something like that, because when I was doing some dimensional trench work, this is, God, almost 2 years ago, a year ago or something, I was looking at the matrix construct. I didn't see the whole lot of it. I just saw the piece part that I was working on. It's a massive, very complex, multi-layered construct, the false matrix that we're in.
Yeah.
And so I was just dealing with this piece part that was my piece part of the puzzle. And I found that there were 144 layers of cloaking linked to people.
Wow.
Like a soul lineage, like a person. And I was one of the people that had this cloaking authority for this layer of the matrix. And then over the next couple of weeks, I discovered all these other people that I kind of knew for a long time, or randomly knew, or, you know, had never met but knew of. And they all had a soul shard in a part of the cloaking mechanism of this matrix, of this one piece part of the matrix. And so, you know, this piece part of the matrix, it had entered my game. It had attacked me because it was alive, it was sentient. And anything that enters my game, game on, sweetheart. You know, I don't need permission from anything. You enter my game, I'm dealing with it. So I dealt with about 60 of these soul shards and healed them. So it kind of decloaked parts of the matrix, I guess, so other psychics could see and do their piece of the puzzle. You know, I just had this decloaking ability, and then other psychics will come in and do their thing. You know, but yeah, I just thought it was fascinating. I just read that it was 144 layers or soul shards of this cloaking section of the construct. Isn't that interesting? 144.
It is. I mean, it comes up a lot. And of course, 1 + 4 + 4 is 9, which is the God number. So,
well, we are the gods.
We are the gods.
Yes, we are the gods.
I agree. And you've been tricked by the the non-gods that we're not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been told that we need to get down on our knees and pray to things outside of ourselves if we want to get healed.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's what sort of what I was going to say is, with all these entities and, with this archangels, I mean, one of the things is, that's 90% of these healer psychics, they all use the same person, right? They're all in touch with the same archangels, apparently.
And there's no judgment. I was using Archangel Michael. I used him a few times. I used my, Indian chief spirit guide, and both of these entities were not who they said they were. And in fact, both of these entities were artificial sentiences. And the Archangel Michael that I was dealing with at that time had one of my soul shards in there. That's why it resonated with me so much. And two other people's soul shards, oops. But I have met about 6 or 7, probably more, Archangel Michaels.
Yeah, exactly.
All of them artificial sentiences, all of them.
And when they get called in, we give them permission, which means they can then, do what they want, really. We don't know. Right?
Oh, yeah.
We're opened up.
I mean, you give Archangel Michael permission to heal you, and he will heal you, and it will feel great. It has to get you buy into it, to get you to buy into it and make that psychic successful, to get even more contracts from people. And there's no judgment, because I was doing it myself. And oh boy, did I have a lot of undoing and revoking to do. I spent months, years undoing all the dumbass things I did in my unawareness. And a lot of light workers are going to have to do that. They're going to have to step up. And there's absolutely no judgment, because I think most of us have been there and done that.
No, it's just all learning. That's the thing. It's just all just learning, going forward.
And we've just got to grow up, take it on the chin, get on with it, and there's no judgment and there's no shame or blame, because we were in unawareness and we have been completely hoodwinked by so many.
Exactly. It's just like children, we don't get mad at them when they do things that they don't have a concept of, and we're the same, right? We don't have concept how this stuff works, because we've been told none of it exists. We've been programmed this way too. So, but yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Just be aware of who you're letting in, because like we said before, it's all about sovereignty and guard, making sure you've got your shields up, guarding yourself. But more than that, not giving your power away is really the thing, because that's
exactly. And within us, within our DNA, we have so many soul lineages. I mean, me personally, I've got Jinn or Genie DNA. I've got Dragon, I've got Syrian, I've got a whole bunch of stuff, Naga, the serpent snake. So many skin suit abilities and technologies within my DNA. So when I need help, I don't call out to anyone, ever. I've learned my lesson. I trust that within my DNA, I have what is required to heal myself. I just trust it. It's never failed me. And I don't even sometimes know which part of me is healing myself. Yeah, and, when I do sessions with clients, I never step in and say, oh, let me heal that for you. I'm always like, I will trap it for you and I will assist in the energies, and I'll tell you, I'll facilitate it. Yeah. And sometimes I have special abilities that I can sort of assist with, but the healing has to be you. You have to do the healing. You have to feel it. It's the version of yourself. Yeah. So, I'm not the easiest psychic to work with, because I make you do the work. You have to sit there and hug yourself for like 10 minutes. Then you have to go jogging. I'm not going to do that for you, but I just assist with the energies and the sight. But yeah, and that's really important, that the healing is up to each individual. Exactly. And when we call out for assistance, we call within. Yeah. I mean, again, my true self, my DNA lineages. Like with the health system, everyone for years gave away, it's just, just listen to what they say and the doctor's always right. And then what happened? Right? And look what they started doing to people. So
This is it's literally the same thing. You know, if we just trust people, you know, trust a hero or whatever that's outside of us, we're giving them permission to it at one point to just change what they're doing if they feel like it. You know, because we're not taking control. We're not, you know, the sovereign. So the power's in us.
The AI is desperate to be physical. It's desperate to create itself. It is desperate for soul shards. What do you think it's going to do to get those soul shards? Well, hello, I'm Archangel Michael. Let me give you a healing.
Exactly.
You know, and this is what happens.
Indeed. So there you go, guys. Let's not get tricked anymore. And no more taping up the entities and putting them in concrete and throwing them into the sun.
I've done a few dumbass things like that. I used to, you know, do things like that until I realized, oh yeah, it's got my soul shards in there. So, or it's got some of my DNA.
Yeah.
So now I heal everything I can. Yeah. The apex predators, the dark magicians, the slimes, the parasites, the ugly crap. I will, you know, heal it all. And I get so much information, so much intel from these creatures. And, you know, all they want, most of them, is sovereign evolution, because they're enslaved too. Yeah, so everything that enters your space, even the darkest, most demonic, hideous slime ball, you never know what it is. So just give it a big hug.
Yep. Send it back to the light.
Yeah.
Indeed, because that's what we all need, right? More light, not enough, no, not more darkness. So there you go, guys. I hope you that was helpful. So I mean, basically, and also mentioned the cage. So, you know, if you're having, and this is all obviously mental work, but if you're having a problem, just build a cage. That's a, you know, a quantum cage that entraps it, takes away any powers it has, and reflects love back at it. And there you go. Just sit there feeding it until you get a response. And that's the way that we now deal with entities with love. We don't keep them into this.
Yeah, and this is a game changer. This information is a game changer, because then we're taking bad guys out of the game, instead of giving them to Archangel Michael or someone who then punishes them and puts them back in the game and enslaves them again. No healing takes place.
No, exactly. So we're not fixing anything. So
yeah, we're perpetuating the stagnation. But this information, it's a game changer, because now we're taking all the bad guys out of the game. We're undoing their dark magic. We win.
You can do it yourself, you know?
Yeah. You don't even need to be psychic. Just pretend you're psychic. Just pretend that you are. I mean, you are, but just pretend that you are, and just have a conversation.
Yeah. And just remember, everything that you know, the way you see it is right for you. Whatever happens is right for you. And just, see what happens, and take back your power and your sovereignty. And, you know, because in the end, all, you know, dis-ease, it's all caused through energy and, you know, different types of attachments and entities and stuff. So, you know, it's a good way to be healthy too, right? Mentally and physically. So there we go. I think we did well. What do you reckon?
We got this.
Got it. All right. So there you go, guys. Thanks for spending some time with us. Thank you, Anne, for joining us again. You don't have a website, do you?
Yeah, I have a website. Yeah, my YouTube is Skin Suit Manual. Yep. And on my YouTube, there's links to my website. I forgot what the address is.
I'll leave the links to Anne's YouTube below. So if you do want to contact me, go there, and there'll be details under the About section or somewhere around there. And yeah, thank you again, Anne. And thanks everyone for joining us. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now. Sorry about that. Okay, do you remember where you were?
I've completely forgotten what I was talking about, but as you were gone, may I read you?
Sure.
So I just revoke any entanglements from me to you and from you to me. All are blocked. There are no contracts, trades, or deals between us.
Yes.
So what I'm getting is this Celtic knot. Do you know
the Gregorian? Is that what it's called? The big knot. Is that what you think?
Not the Gregorian knot. It's more like a Celtic weave.
Yeah.
Design that's endless.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's kind of several layers of weaving that is endless.
Okay.
And sometimes people have tattoos of this band around their arm or something.
Yeah, looks a bit like a braid sort of thing.
Like a braid.
Yeah.
And it's a dark magic. Cambell, what have you done? Okay.
Wasn't me. Well, it was, but
okay. Quantum tat. Okay, I have a version of you here. A sorcerer, dark magician, Syrian or Viking, Syrian expression of you. He's on his knees. I was wondering what this was. I've been kind of healing him all morning. Right. It's a version of you. And you created these braids, these Celtic braid kind of designs, and they were entanglement traps. They were entanglement traps that could be thrown at people to anchor entanglement.
okay.
To people, and they're cloaked. And it's actually not made of rope, it's made of a parasite. It's a parasite, like a worm that has been braided into this geometric design that has been corrupted with dark magic. And you throw these at people to anchor entanglement and trauma. And it's not just you, it's a cult, it's a group of people, but you're one of them. So do you now revoke and undo all abuse and corruption of geometry, including this, what I see as a Celtic knot or braid?
Yes, I do.
Is that it? Can you feel, how do you feel?
Fine. I woke up with a sore back, so that's about it.
Lower back or shoulders?
Lower.
Is this something to do with,
Actually, I was feeling a bit weird this morning too. Almost a bit sick, but I don't know if that's something to do with it.
yeah, I have a real heavy heart space. Just take a couple of really nice deep breaths just to sort of energize all your energy centers to help shift these energies, and a lot of love and unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness for this version of you. How do you feel?
Yeah, a bit calmer.
I think you've got an etheric branding, like a tattoo on your arm, on your left arm. There is this etheric tattoo. Do you revoke and delete that? Revoke, delete it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this tattoo, this geometry, they use these parasite worms to create them. And these parasite worms, they have almost like a portaling ability, which is how they can get thrown at people. So we're just going to heal the parasite as well. And I'll help you with that. So a lot of love for these parasites. They're very traumatized. We're going to put it in a realm of sovereign evolution. And with others of its kind, I found a few of these recently. They get creational authority to reproduce if they want. I think that'll be healing. Yeah. Do you release this parasite with love, unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness?
Yes, I do.
And do you revoke any and all abuse of parasites and parasite energy because you would force them to be embedded in this weaving geometry?
Yes, I do.
And all is uncreated and revoked and undone, right?
Yes.
Wow. Mirrored across creation where applicable for your highest good.
Yes.
Whoa. That's just taking out a huge chunk of dark magic.
Been a bad boy.
Of entanglements, because I mean, you weren't the only one doing this. Another person I know was doing something similar too. And what would happen is you would grab a traumatized version of a person, anchor them with this parasite geometry, Celtic knot thing, and then that would burrow or access you, but everything's cloaked, so you can't see this version of the you that needs to be healed. You can't see this Celtic knot. All you see is the parasite, and people hate parasites and just want to kill them. So these are very difficult to discern and heal. And so a lot of people, you know, they anchor trauma, and a lot of people have this anchored trauma, and no psychic can get this off or deal with it because it's all cloaked with dark magic, and you have to have some DNA link to someone who's created the magic in the first place in order to see it and undo it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling a lot lighter now.
You've been carrying you all day, have you? All right. Yeah. So
Yeah, sorry about that. We don't have
okay. So that's about, I think that's just for everyone. That's about number 4. I think the 4th sort of healing you've done on me. And every time, yeah, like it's like you've got to sort of take stuff off, and that sort of you can uncover more stuff, and there's sort of levels of it, isn't there? So That's what that was all about.
Layers.
Layers.
Usually, I mean, you've had this bad arm for, I guess, a while. It started off with an accident,
Yes.
and there are just many layers to the healing of this arm, because these traumas and karma and injury have been thrown at you from many of your dimensional selves to keep you in perpetual trauma, layers upon layers upon layers. It's like karma tagging,
Yeah.
or karma dumping.
Mhm.
And so, but in the end, it's kind of a good thing, because you get to undo the dark magic
Yeah.
that was created.
It's all learning. That's the thing, even though it's, they might come through as negative energies, we still learn, right? We grow through that, and without that we wouldn't. So it's, in the end, it should be a positive, experience or evolution. It's because we have to learn.
This is what it's about, evolution. I mean, we are here to fight for our sovereign evolution, and that means being able to heal ourselves.